Super excited, got another new part today. This one from Panic made. Super excited to get this on the car. This is the air filter backing plate for the pipe across filter. And we also have these, which are ITB extensions, and this should bump up the mid-range power with the Panic made ITBs. The big reason why I'm so excited about this is because I can have an air filter for my ITBs, because for the longest time I've just been using like a garbage bag over the ITBs, so that way I don't get like a bunch of dirt and debris in the engine. Because my car doesn't run yet, it's sat outside for a while, it's been sitting in the garage for a while, so that's what I'm most excited for. But another part of this Panic made kit of parts are these guys. So what these are is these are velocity stack extensions. So these velocity stack extensions give it a little bit more mid-range power, because the velocity stacks that came with the Panic made ITBs are a little short. And then this will give a little bit of a punch to the mid-range by extending the velocity stacks a little bit. This isn't something that I can confirm for myself, but this is what I've seen on some of the dyno sheets from Panic once they put those on, as well as from a few people who've already installed them and already driving around. They noticed a pretty significant difference in their mid-range power, just came on quite a bit smoother, and it just gave it a nice good like punch right in the middle. Comes with a pipe across filter, which is a nice big open filter. I see a lot of people that run like the little itty filters right over the trumpet, right over the velocity stack, and that's a no-go for me. Those actually end up restricting airflow, which reduces power. Something like this has a big open area, so that way it can pull a lot of air volume in from all over the place. That way it's not restricted. And the other thing too is that those ones that go right over the velocity stack, or even like the mesh screen that go between the velocity stack and the throttle body, those can get restricted and sucked in actually. Like I've seen a bunch of the guys who run like the uni filters that are like a lot of people use on motorcycles, and I've seen those come apart and the foam gets sucked into the engine. Whereas something like this is quite a bit larger. It's not going to have that kind of vacuum pulled on it, so it's not going to deteriorate, at least not anywhere near as fast. And pipe across, these are pretty standard. These have been used on ITBs and on 4AGs and A86s for years. I'm super stoked to run one of these on my Beams 3S GE. Install is really simple. We're just going to remove these velocity stacks, these trumpets. Then we use the new hardware to put the backing plate for the filter on, and the velocity stack extensions to put the velocity stacks back on and bolt it all back together. Hopefully I've got enough clearance with everything I've got going on in here. It looks like the order of things to get clearance is going to be throttle body, spacer, backing plate, stack. So let's give that a go. The difficult bit of fitting this air filter is down on the bottom of this filter. You see, right here, we've got these legs, or whatever you want to call them. They have to fit in these little slots here. So I have air conditioning, and I've got my fuel line. I'm gonna have to make a new fuel line for this, but everything's so tight in here. So you gotta like slip it down like at an angle like this, and like scoop it onto the velocity stacks, right? And then the fun bit, the back one is the hardest one. You gotta feel down around in there. Testing 1, 2, yeah. And then as you're feeling down around in there, just hopefully you can get it to slip in. The front one is a lot easier. It's the back one that's a pain. After you kind of get it wedged in there, go back and make sure. Now it's fitting down there nice. We've got our 3 fasteners at the top that we gotta add, and then we'll be installed. This is the hardware that Panic provides you with to be able to attach the filter to the backing plate, which is great. This clip goes on the back side, this goes to the front side, you push them together, and it's pretty much never going to go anywhere. Since I'm going to be removing and installing this filter and stuff probably a few more times before the car runs, I opted to just use a nut and a bolt on it. The only problem with this is that the head of the bolt is like just barely bigger than the actual hole in the filter, so that could definitely pull through. I really should ideally have a washer behind that, so I guess I'll have to change that. But it's on there now, and it looks wonderful. And I'm so excited to have filtered air. Another big bonus is that I've got a bunch of wires and other things dingle-dangling around down here. I still got to tidy up, but the filter kind of blocks it, so it looks pretty nice. I don't see all the mess. All right, velocity stack extensions and air filter installed. Great product, really stoked about this. I'm really excited that they finally have a filter setup for the ITBs. I was gonna copy like Speed Academy. They use like a Gen V blank back plate and drill the holes and stuff themselves. I loved it because it was carbon fiber, but this is a lot easier since it's a bolt-on and I don't have to do anything. One of the other things that I'm gonna have to do once I get the engine running is make sure to match the flow or synchronize the ITBs. This is really common on multi-carburetor engines, and with this having 4 individual throttle bodies, they're all adjustable, you need to use one of these guys, which Panic Made sells, to be able to synchronize the airflow from all 4 of them. Essentially, you've got to adjust your throttle plates to make sure they're all matching, they got the same amount of airflow, and you'll use this to do that. Once I get the engine running, I'll have to do another video on how to synchronize the ITBs. All right, that's it for this update on Project Cream Puff. I'm super stoked. Like, seriously, shout out to Panic Made for making such awesome products for the beams and AE86. Thank you guys, Matt and Mark. You guys knock out of the park. Hopefully this car starts and runs on its own very soon, and then we can do some more road testing and other things. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. All that stuff. Thanks, guys.